The shadows under Warden House. The return. No one spoke of Warden House anymore. It was the kind of place that had disappeared from maps and memories, slowly erased by time and fear. Nestled in the dead forest of Harrow's Hollow, the old orphanage had been abandoned for decades after the fire of 1989. Most said it burned down entirely. Others whispered that something inside had survived. But when Ellie Granger received a letter, an actual paper letter in the mail, everything changed. She hadn't been back to Harrow's Hollow in over 20 years, not since she was a child herself. The town was quiet now, a skeleton of its former self. Ellie, now a 32-year-old freelance journalist, had built her life far away. The letter had no return address, only a line of handwriting she recognized instantly. Ellie, they remember you. Come home. Inside the envelope was a key. And a newspaper clipping. Warden House, site of forgotten tragedy. Bodies never recovered. The house waits. The first thing Ellie noticed when she arrived in Harrow's Hollow was the silence. The wind didn't rustle. No birds sang. It was as if the forest itself held its breath. She found Warden House tucked behind decaying iron gates and vines that clutched its walls like dead hands. Despite the fire, the structure remained eerily intact. Its blackened stone walls loomed against the gray sky. The key fit the rusted lock perfectly. The moment she stepped inside, the air turned colder. The old floorboards groaned beneath her boots as if protesting her return. The scent of ash still lingered, mixed with something older, something like rot and regret. Ellie, to herself, just memories, that's all it is. She raised her camera and started filming. The foyer was vast, with a split staircase and dust-covered portraits of long-dead benefactors staring blankly from the walls. A tattered rug stretched across the floor, and a broken chandelier hung overhead like a corpse. But it was the silence that unsettled her most. It was too quiet, until she heard it. A soft, childlike giggle from upstairs echoes of the past. Ellie froze. She waited, listened, but there was nothing now, just the tick of her pulse and the distant creak of wood. She climbed the stairs carefully, each step groaning beneath her weight. The upper level was darker, the windows smeared and broken. Old doors lined the hallway like teeth in a crooked smile. Room 5. She remembered this room. It was hers once. She pushed it open. Inside, the air grew heavier. Dust motes floated like ash. Her old bed, or what was left of it, leaned against the wall. A child's drawing was still pinned to the peeling wallpaper. A crayon picture of a girl holding hands with something tall, black and formless. Ellie didn't remember drawing it. Then her camera shut off. Dead battery, but it had been fully charged. As she turned to leave, a voice whispered just beside her ear. You left us. She ran, whispers in the dark. She returned the next day, unable to stay away. Something in the house was calling her, pulling her. The halls seemed different now, longer, the shadows deeper. Doors she'd seen before had vanished. In their place, new rooms appeared, rooms that shouldn't exist. Like the underground stairwell behind the kitchen pantry, where the fire had supposedly started. Ellie followed it down. The basement was colder than above, damp, endless. She found a room filled with toys, arranged in a perfect circle. Dolls with hollow eyes, stuffed animals with torn seams. In the center, a rocking horse moved gently, though the air was still. Creak, creak, creak. Something had written on the walls in chalk. We never left. Stay with us. You were one of us. Ellie staggered back, gasping. Her flashlight flickered. Then she saw them. Dozens of eyes, small, childlike, peering from the shadows. But they were wrong. Too dark, too empty, and they blinked all at once. The lost children. The next day, Ellie tried to leave. Her car wouldn't start. The roads were gone. Literally gone, swallowed by the mist that had crept in overnight. The forest around the house was now unfamiliar, shifting. Trees where roads had been, paths that led nowhere. She was trapped that night. The dreams came. She saw the fire again, but differently. From inside, she was small, helpless. The flames were screaming, and behind them, shadows moved with purpose, not running from the fire, but feeding it, laughing. She woke to scratches on her arms, tiny fingerprints marked in soot. The house was reminding her. She had been here, and she had forgotten. Mother Warden. In the West Wing, where no one had dared go even before the fire, Ellie found a locked door with the nameplate. Matron Eliza Warden. She picked the lock. Inside was a room untouched by fire, elegant, cold, and pristine. A large rocking chair sat before a fireplace filled with bone-dry ashes. On the mantel was a photo of children, dozens of them, but all had their faces scratched out. All except one, Ellie. She dropped the photo, a creak behind her. She turned. The rocking chair was moving. A voice, dry and brittle, echoed from the shadows. "You were always my favorite." She turned to run, but the door slammed shut. The temperature plummeted. Frost bloomed across the window glass. The shadows gathered like smoke. From the darkness, a tall figure emerged. A woman in a long black dress, skin like wax, hollow eyes. Matron Warden. "You left them in the fire, Eleanor, but I saved them. I made them part of the house." The walls pulsed as if alive. "Now it's your turn." Ellie fled, through collapsing corridors and screaming rooms. The house was alive now, groaning with fury and hunger. She ran until she collapsed into what once was the chapel. Candles lit themselves. A circle of children stood silently in the pews, their eyes empty, their mouths stitched. One child stepped forward, Thomas. He had died in the fire. She remembered now. Thomas, whispering. "You forgot us, but we remember you." Ellie, sobbing. "I didn't know. I was just a kid." But the house didn't care. It fed on memory, on guilt, on fear. The shadows rose around her. Then something changed. Ellie stood up. "I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore." The children hesitated. The shadows recoiled. Ellie, to the children. "You don't have to stay here. You're not hers. You're free." For the first time, one of the children smiled. And the house screamed. The fire again, it burned again. The walls cracked, windows shattered. Flames roared through the corridors, but this time, Ellie stood still. It was the house's memory. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Let them go." And the fire stopped. The children vanished, one by one, smiling. Only silence remained. Aftermath. Warden House was gone. Not destroyed, erased, as if it had never existed. She looked down. The photo from the mantel was in her hand. All the faces had returned, even Thomas. Back home, Ellie wrote the story of Warden House. No one believed it, but that was okay. Because she knew the truth, and so did the shadows. The end.